Hello, everyone. This is Shivani from PlaceU, and we are back with another illuminated podcast filled up with lots of amazing information and great experiences of the placement path from an astonishing personality who just got placed as an SDE at Microsoft, Mr. Nitish Sharma. Hello, Bhaiya. How are you?
I'm good, Shivani. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, and thank you for asking. So, before getting into the actual podcast, I want to ask this that many of the juniors have been attending the classes virtually now, but you have had a transition from in house to remote classes. So, according to you, which one is the better one?
So again, first of all, I want to add that I don't think anyone is better. Like both the format have their own advantages and disadvantages. I think it's very dependent on the personality of that person and like what he believes in. Like if you ask me personally, like for me, like I was in my second year when this happened, and we shifted and I came back home. So in the starting, like it was like a vacation. Like for example, you were there in a college for 2 3 years. You get summer vacation, winter vacation for a month. You enjoy it like that. Okay, so you play around, you watch movies, you watch series. But after 1 month, I did the same. But after 1 or month, what happened is like I was fed up. Like enough is enough. Now even like watching series, it was getting boring or just playing around felt boring. So that actually I always like to learn. Always like to explore new technologies. So after when I got bored of that also I started to explore technologies. I started learning like new technologies, new technology stacks, like example how to make a website, how to do app development, and that is also where I came across competitive programming, problem solving. So personally, I feel like for my uh, for academic purpose, it worked for me. Like since I was alone, I think I got to explore more. Like I got to think more. Like what should I do next? And I got more time for me. Like if I can compare it, like for example, when I was in my college, if I was putting 2 hours in my academics, like 2 hours on learning new things, problem solving, whatever. When in my home, I could do that. Like I could give 4 or 5 hours to that. So
It
academically, it has helped
actually
me a lot.
helped you.
It helped me, definitely. It has helped me in that field. Like, but also if I was in my college, like I could get to meet more people, network with more people,
Hmm.
know about like what they are learning. Again, like virtually also we can do it, but it's not as the experience is not as good as when we're in college. And again, like I missed a lot of fests to college fests and all. Again, missed out on a lot of funds too. But I think since I was my third year and fourth year, I think it helped me. It helped me. But again, there are pros and cons in both the formats. So I think a
But
person has to experience it for himself, like, and see what works for him. Yeah.
so, Bhaiya, it would be great, like if you would give any glimpses of your college experiences and college life.
College experiences. So mostly it has been around clubs and chapters. I was part of a few clubs. Like I was first of all I was late in joining clubs. Like the first year in the starting, I was not in any of the clubs. I was just exploring around, like just roaming around, seeing what clubs are there, and I joined a few clubs like SIAM. I was mostly interested in this activity club, like I was in trekking club because love trekking. So I was in trekking club. I was in SIAM. I was in debate society. Like I don't remember. I think one more club, but it's fine. So I was exploring the clubs and all. It was very nice, especially Gravitas. For example, Gravitas technical events. I I took part in events like, for example, I remember attending an event called in related to stock market and investing, and from there my curiosity about stock market investing started. And similarly, like I also volunteered in Gravitas, Riviera, and I was actually looking forward in my third year, Riviera. I was actually looking forward to for a few events and all. And
Yeah.
again, like normal, like any other guy, like just chilling with friends, also learning along with them. I think any other college student, like having fun also, little bit learning also. Yeah, not very extraordinary.
Yeah, but yeah, like now getting into the placements, like you have got placed into a slot one company, right? And there are many slot one companies visiting the campus. Like, did you choose Microsoft or Microsoft chose you in that aspect? And were you preparing for all the slot one companies?
So first of all, like of course I chose Microsoft. I don't know whether Microsoft chose me or not, but I chose Microsoft. And regarding the first like slot one companies, I want to say this, that like I personally, like when I was in second year, like I knew that okay, third year starting, like my placements hote, like there will be placements coming, companies coming, but I didn't know about how VIT conducts placements. So I did not know about the slot one, slot two, which companies will come. I didn't know anything. I think when I was in my third year, the placement starts at the month of June. So
Hmm.
I think Microsoft also visited in the month of June. So I think a month before when the first mail came, okay, these are the companies. This will be slot one. These are companies. That was the first time I knew, okay, this is how the placement will occur. And Microsoft is going to come first. So if you ask me, if you prepare specifically for companies, like I was not preparing specifically for any company, including Microsoft or any other Amazon, whatever D show. So I personally, like in my second year, first of all, I was late in starting for preparations because
Hmm.
again, like I knew from the first year when I joined VIT, people were saying, okay, competitive programming is important, competitive problem solving is important, but I didn't do competitive programming or problem solving. I was very late. I was doing a bit of development doing a bit of development and just focusing on normal academics, which were not like just not giving that. So that is why I said now when I
Hmm.
came back home because of this virtually like because of being secluded, being alone in home, I started exploring paths. Like I think 6 months before that, I think if I think September around 2020 was when I started competitive programming or generally if you say problem solving and or DSA and algorithms and all. So I love competitive programming. Like I'm not into this because of placement and all. I love problem solving and I love competing against people. So in those 6 months, I was only doing competitive programming, like taking part in contests in Code Forces, Code Chef, Lead Code. I was there in all the platforms and giving all the contests. Like if you see my Code Forces profile, like I've given 75 contests in Code Forces alone. Around that only. So if specifically I was not preparing for any companies, but I knew okay the coding rounds will be there because I also given few internship tests, so I knew coding rounds will be there. I was preparing generally if you say I would say I was preparing generally for all the companies for good companies. Like I know okay these the questions will be hard. I can't just let's just read some 100 top 100 question I will get selected. Maybe if I'm lucky I will, but for the 6 months I personally like I thought let's do problem solving, let's solve as many problems as we can, let's be consistent with this, and let's see whichever company comes. I think if I've solved enough problems I will crack it. So that was my perspective throughout the placement journey, and I think I was a bit lucky too. So yeah, got into Microsoft.
Yeah, Bhaiya, now we all know that you are going to be an SDE at Microsoft. So everyone in the audience is like curious to know about like where did you start it from when did you start programming and all those things.
Okay, so as I said, like okay, so the placements happened in June, and the September or October around the last year. So I personally have done the DSA course. I am aware. I was aware of the all like the basic data structures and all. So one day, like just like searching through the web, like what all data structures are there. I think I remember it. I remember it very clearly. That first video that I saw was segment tree. Like if people
Hmm.
know about this, they will know like it's a little advanced data structure. Like if you ask me like the if a question on segment tree is there, the company is offering more than 10 lakhs. There is no company offering less than 10 lakhs and asking for segment tree question in their coding room. So this is a bit advanced data structure. So first of all, when I saw this video, the first thing which came into mind, okay, I've heard about binary tree, I've heard about binary search tables, what is this segment tree? So I remember my competitive programming journey starting from there itself. I saw that video, I wanted to know like what is segment tree, how this works. I remember watching that video, and after that, like I have been watching videos. I just like binged through the series of the segmentary video. Next, I went through heap sort. I think that from there I started my journey. And again, like I follow few people in YouTube and all, like who do competitive programming a lot. So like from there, I saw a few videos like what they think we should do. Who wants to get good at competitive programming? So there was a book called as Competitive Programming 3. And that is a very good book. I have read that book around 70 to 80%. I think if anyone in the audience or whoever wants to read, I think that book is very structured and it's
Hmm.
free, of course. So I didn't have that much money to enroll in courses and all. So I have read that book, and that is very nice if someone wants to read that. And along with Competitive Programming Handbook, that is also a book which I have with me. Uh, so these are some of the books which I've read, and also again, like I would say, like mostly I have participated in contest, free videos, articles, blogs, And someone what exact resources I know because I look through them every day. There's a website called as CP algorithm. There's Usako, which is also a website. Again, that is very and these are the few websites. Again, like I have participated in a lot of contests, including Code Forces, Code Chef, AdCoder, Lead Code. So like this only generally if you see uh, I love problem solving, so I have been part and I would recommend everyone like just to try computer program, give it a try. Problem solving, but again like there is a huge debate also, like I'm active in LinkedIn, so I see a huge debate also, CP versus dev. So I would say like just try both of them and see what works for you, because I know and I know as slot one companies have given few tests where dev round, like coding round, like there's company which have dev round or machine coding round at the first round. So if you're good at dev, you will get a job definitely from there also. But again, problem solving is also very important. So and I think competitive programming is the best way to develop problem solving skill. So if someone has any better way, like they can do that also. But I feel competitive programming is very nice to develop those skills. So I've been doing that. And placement journey. So do you want the exact placement journey for Microsoft, or you
Like
want me to say that?
like Baya, now you were saying that about the place, about you were seeing the videos, you were participating in contests, and there are also like online courses which are available. So, what is according to you better, participating in contests or seeing these online videos on or seeing the online courses and all? Which according to you is better?
See, online courses, the thing with online courses is I have not taken any online course, so I can't say much about them. But again, they are costly. Like when during my time also they existed, but they call like 30,000, 40,000 for enrollment. So I consider it expensive. And I personally also knew that, okay, all the things which they will teach me are
Hmm.
available freely, but to study from that I have to be very consistent, and I have to be like very determined. Okay, like I have to like put myself in sit in the table and study for like 3 4 hours every day. I knew that that is what it will take to study freely and all. But again, like if someone has the money and they can try online courses, I would again say like everything is available freely. I've been studying from that, and I know a lot of people who have studied from these free resources and have been doing really good. So again, with free resources for me, like I was following people who are doing computer program, like from India or from international, also from globally. So I have been following those people. Like from if you see YouTube, a few like for example Eric To,
Hmm.
Utkarsh Gupta, like there are few people. So I will say like go on Code Forces, Code Dev, see who are the top ranked people. See who are the top ranked people from India or from foreign, and follow them. People like follow them. Like okay, if they have a YouTube channel, follow them. If they have some LinkedIn or Telegram, follow them and see how they are doing. Like what advice they are doing. Again, like competitive programming also, I'm not the best. I'm if you see like I'm around specialist at Code Forces, so I would not be the best person to give advice on that. But see, okay, go and check out those platforms, see who are the best people from India, listen to them. Again, do your own thing only, but okay, listen to them, like what they suggest, what you should be doing. If you just want to study for placement, again, there are people who are telling how to do that also. But I think
Yeah.
like you should always be doing problem solving. Solve as much problem as you can, and if you solve enough problem, I mean, every company, it's not important just Microsoft, I think Google, Facebook, any company, if you have just solved enough problems, you will definitely get into any of them. But problem solving is very important according to me.
Yeah, yeah. Like now, many of the third year students who are listening to this podcast and aiming to be an SDE at Microsoft, so they have correctly 6 months in the hands for preparation from now. So, if they are supposingly they are having basic coding skills, and is it possible for a third year guy to prepare in this less time? So, should they start their preparation from? What would be the preparation strategy and all?
Okay. So as I said, like I also had only 6 months to prepare properly. And I was a person, like I remember in September or October, I didn't know how to code a graph also. I remember this very clearly. Like I knew, okay, graph, because in our for DSA course in my year, like when I did it, it was mostly theoretical and very less practical. Like I remember they didn't ask me any time to code a graph, to do how to do a BFS or a DFS. So I personally, even 6 months before, I didn't know how to code a graph. So I started from very scratch, like how to code graph in my language. Like for example, I use Java, how to code a graph in Java, how to do a heap sort, like how to make heaps, priority queues by my own in my programming language. Okay, there are external libraries there too, but how to code with my own, like how to code my own priority queue. So these are the things I learned only 6 months before my placement. So if you ask me 6 months are enough or not, I think it's very enough. Like uh, very enough. Like even if, but for 6 months you have to utilize it very properly. Like you have to start with the basic data structures algorithm, like the basic ones. For example, I said code a graph, do BFS, DFS. In algorithms also, if you start with like Jikistra, Jikistra algorithm, shortest path algorithm, just cover these basic algorithms and basic data structures first. And then again, like after you've done this, like start giving contest and see like what are problems you're not able to solve and upsolve them. Like after finishing the contest, if you're not able to solve few problems, like if there is, for example, a code forces round is there, diff 2 round is there are 5 problems, you are able to solve only 2 problems. So after the contest, try to see the third problem and try to, after the contest, since if you're not able to solve in the contest, after the contest the next day or that night, try to like upsolve the next question, third question, which you weren't able to solve. So having strategies like this can really help in both, like it will increase your rating too, like in globally, like I'm pretty sure like a resume it looks, I've heard also like people saying that it adds to your value when you show your rating on Codeforces or Codeshare, because it is globally recognized. Again, like there again like it's not the only thing, but it adds some credentials to your, okay, this person has participated in contests globally, and okay, this person knows problem solving, it shows something. So it helps in both ways, in placements also, and increasing your rating, Codeforces, Codeshare, whatever platforms you like. And again, there are a few things also, but in this 6 months, I think it's very important to be consistent. Since I was starting from a very scratch, I remember like sitting 4 or 5 hours every day in the starting, trying to learn these data structures, algorithm, trying to look through the book, trying to search for tutorials. So if you're I think if 6 months, what if 3 months are also fine. If you're able to give 5-6 hours every day, sit through and solve problems, even I think you can crack any company in 3 months also. Again, have to be some luck and all, but if you have to solve a lot of problems like in 6 months or 3 months, like I remember like when I sat through the placement, I think I've solved more than, in the 6 months I solved around more than around I think around 500 questions I remember solving, because I always look through my platform, and I take it as a pride. That is why I remember it, because after months I see, okay, there's many, and I feel good when I see, okay, I have solved 600-700 problems. I feel really good. So I'm pretty sure if someone solves 5 and 6 months, they also feel good, okay, I have done something in the last 6 months. So it will take 3-4 hours per day, like have to study this daily 3-4 hours per day. And I think it is very much possible to crack any company in 6 months. Just have to give the time and solve those problems. Yeah.
So, Bhaiya, now things have been completely virtual from a lot of time, and due to this, there is a senior junior interaction lack. So we are having like many doubts on our projects, like where from we can get the good projects, and what is the importance of these projects in getting placement scenarios sorted.
I think so. I personally think the first thing which I had one project. I think the best thing is to do is to search is to think of something of your own. Like have a very noble idea, like which no one else has thought. And I think it's okay if it's not very big. Okay, we have a very small idea. Okay, simple website, but this is not there in YouTube or any other platform. This is your own idea. This is a very small project. It's fine. And so first thing I think anyone should do is to sit and think of an idea which has not been like, which is not copied or is there in any other platform. Sit with your friend, 2-3 friends, 4 friends, and think of an idea. Like there, I'm pretty sure like we can come up with a small idea, build a small website, and that is also fine. Again, the second thing is like I have not like even I have not a very good idea like where to get these noble project ideas. I personally did that. I made a project sitting and thinking about an idea. And if someone asks me like, okay, then also where do you want to get some idea? I think first choice is the preference. Like what are the technologies you want to work with. Like if you want to do web development, want to learn specific things, like for example you are interested in learning MongoDB, React, Angular. So what I do, I will say, like if I want to learn that technology, for example blockchain is one technology which I want to learn today. So what I do is I go to Udemy or Coursera. I prefer Udemy because I like it, so that is my personal preference. So I go in Udemy, I just search blockchain development. There are a lot of courses which comes. I take the most rated or the course, and again there are sites where there are a lot of sites we can get that. So I take that video, I watch through the course, and then again I think, okay, this is a small project which the person has showed me in the video. So again I try to like use that technology and try to create a small project of my own, which is again I'm telling you this like about what I think. My ideas are very simple, like okay, a small website or a small app is like okay, but I have done that on my own. There is no other exact application of this in YouTube or any other platform. And again I also do the clone also, like if someone has made the project, I again for practice I also do that. But
Yeah.
I think but I have noticed in my placement journey, like for example in Microsoft itself, in the last round of my Microsoft placement, I remember like the person asked me to show a project of my own, which you think are the best, which you think is the best project you have done. So I remember showing him that project, and he asked me like very specifically, okay, what this line does, what that line does. So I think it's very important to have one project, at least one project of your own, and you should know all the line, like all the coding, all the lines, like why you have put this coding, why you have put this line here, what does this line do. I think it's very important before the placement to have at least one project where you know everything, why you have coded this line, why you have not coded that, and why you have used this technology, like just one project. And like I'm saying this because my project was not very complex, or it was a plain website built using Node.js, HTML, CSS. Very simple website, and not it did not involve a lot of complexities, but it was my own. And I think, and I knew all the lines, like why was this line written, what does this line do. And I think that is what he also liked it. He was also not looking for any complexity or something, like, yeah, okay, you have to integrate some blockchain or something very high tech. He was also happy, and I did that my own, and I think that helped me. And again, like I strongly recommend, like if you want, if first of all see what are technologies you are interested in. Like if you're interested in web development, app development, blockchain, anything, I like if there's some technology which you are interested in, sit first of all learn them through YouTube, Udemy, Coursera, whichever you prefer. Learn that, and then sit for some time, think of a noble idea, think, or sit with your friends too, because if it's a big project your friends might also help. Sit with yourself, sit with your friend, think for some time, some days, some weeks, think of an idea, if and it's fine if it's a small idea, and then you should do that project. Like it can help you in your placement, like, because if you do that, you will be knowing every line of the project, why you have written this line. And when someone asks you that, I think it's more important that you know. When someone asks you why you have coded this line, I think very important you know, instead of making a very complex project. You have made a small project, but you know everything. I think that is better than the other thing.
That also gives you a view that you know everything and you're sure about all the things what you have done till then.
Like bhale I know less, but I know what I know, but I know what I've coded.
Yeah, Bhaiya, now it's hard for students to get a chance to intern with companies without having industry contacts. So, in that case, how can someone in their second and third years get their internship, as it is one of the major parts which is discussed in the interviews of such companies like Microsoft, right?
Okay, so I think the first I think the first thing would be the when someone is like second year, third year, like for example, VIT offers, like there are a lot of companies which comes for internship. I think the best way is to crack that. I think hands down, the best way is to crack one of those companies. For example, I remember when Microsoft came in second or third year. As I told, like I was very late in my placement journey, very late in problem solving DSA algorithms. So when Microsoft came in second year for the internship, I sat to the placement, but I think there were three problems, and I remember I couldn't solve the third problem. I was only able to solve two problems, and I couldn't solve the third problem. And which I also like later I observed. This is because I'm not doing problem solving. I'm not solving enough problems so that I could crack those companies. So I would say the best thing is to crack those companies which your college is offering in the second year, third year as an internship. Best way is that, because once you get into the company, uh, through that internship you can get an offer directly without sitting for placement. So that is the best thing. If you can crack those companies in your internship year, like second or third year, that is the best thing. If you can't, if by chance you're not able to do that, I think to get in touch with that, two or three ways. I think first of all, you can contact any seniors who are there in some companies, and they can give you some referrals, or maybe they can also guide you through, because they also have networks. That helps. Again, the one other thing, third thing would be to, again, like LinkedIn is all, of course, most of the people know that you can contact, you can directly contact recruiters or someone like people who HR recruiters from through LinkedIn, and ask them for internships. Again, like I personally, when I was doing, I was also like applying a lot applying in a lot of companies through Internshala and other websites, third party websites. And like again, these are a bit hard. Like you don't, if you apply for 100 companies, maybe you get mails from 10 companies, and mail from 10 companies. And again, if there is a shortlisting, so maybe there are only 3 4 potential recruiters for you. So these are a bit hard and long ways. Like this will take time also, and you need to be consistent. You need to apply to 50 companies, 100 companies if you really want the internship. And so this is a bit long way, but I think the college one, which the college offers internship in the second, that is the best way. I think that, because if you do that properly, your placement is also solved. So that is the best way. Other from that, you can contact people through LinkedIn, Internshala. Yeah.
So, Bhaiya, like, what is the role of CGPA for getting placement? Like, what must be one CGPA to get into good company like Microsoft, or what is the decent placement for CGPA for getting decent placements?
Okay, so I personally think there should be no role, but there is a role. Like for example, if you ask, like previously you told me I sat through slot one companies. The truth is that I didn't sat through all the slot one companies. Like my CGPA during that time was 8.9. So in the slot one companies, I remember I think I sat through only 3 or 4 companies. Like I got to sit for Microsoft, which I was very lucky. Like I didn't expect, okay, I would be allowed to sit for Microsoft, because my CGPA was 8.9, and I have seen like a lot of companies in which I was not getting shortlisted. Like a lot of companies, I think PayPal. I remember only a few companies. I remember I was not shortlisted for PayPal. I was not shortlisted for, I think, I don't know. There are more, because I remember I was thinking about it, so I remember it that I was not shortlisted for a lot of companies. For a few in the slot when I think I was able to sit. So again, if you ask me, CGPA 9. If you really want to sit in all the companies, I think 9 CGPA is a must in VIT. Like 9 CGPA is a must if you want to sit in all the companies. Again, like due to this virtual thing, what has happened now? Like the CGPAs of all the students have increased a lot. So nowadays, even 9 CGPA is not enough, because I know people who are 9.03, 9.1, even they are not getting shortlisted. So I don't remember I don't remember. No, I don't know what is the exact CGPA which will help you in sitting in all the company. But I assume like around 8.99 should be enough. Like you will get at least 50 to 60% of companies for sure. Even more, I'm not sure. Like, because this all depends on like how many students are above 9 CGPA. Depends on a lot of things. But I think a CGPA around 9 should be good enough, because again, to get a CGPA over 9.5, you have to put also that much effort. And if you put that much effort in academics to doing all the courses, then you can't expand your skill set in other domain. Like you can't do a lot of problem solving, you can't learn new technologies which you are interested in. So you have to make a balance, you have to strike a balance between both of them. But I think the CGPA around 9 should be good enough, like to should sit for most of the good companies. Yeah, because even I was rejected in a lot of them. So yeah.
Yeah, in reality, it is must, like we should be above 9 for getting the perks of everything.
Yeah.
So, Bhaiya, like let's dive into the selection process of Microsoft. Like, how many rounds were there in the total selection process of Microsoft?
Okay, so there were 4 rounds in total. Like there were total 4 rounds, and depending on the candidate and the recruiter, there can be 1 or 2 more rounds. So for me, I am saying personally, like for me, there were 4 rounds. First was a coding round, like coding round. It was for all the participants who were shortlisted. So coding round. Second was after that, if I'm cracking the coding round, then there are 2 interview rounds, like interview round one and interview round two. After I've done in both, if they feel I've done enough, if they feel I've done enough, like I'm good enough, I've cracked both of them. Then there is one more round. They say it HR round, but I didn't felt it was an HR round or something. So there were 4 rounds.
So, Bhaiya, like the first round, which you were saying, the coding round, was it the online test? It was held online mode, right?
Yeah, it was held online. I think it was held in Codility. I remember because the time they would schedule the test, I think their servers were not good enough to cater all the students. So I remember that it was rescheduled. So the platform was Codility. It was a good, very good platform. So yeah,
So, like,
accordingly.
was it the open slot timing, or else it was a particular timing where all the students have to write in that particular timing?
I think we're given half an hour or something, like between 12 and 12:30. I'm giving an estimate. I don't remember the exact time, but I think it was like around 12 or 12:30 p.m. Like all the candidates has to start the test, and we were given 3 hours, I think, for 3 problems. Yeah.
Okay, duration of the test was 3 hours.
Yes, I think it was 3 hours. Yeah. Yeah.
How many questions were asked, Bhaiya? Like all were
Uh,
recording questions only.
yeah, all were coding questions. There were 3 questions.
Hmm. Okay, like any particular time was given to each question, or else in 3 hours you can solve all the three questions, how much ever time you want to allocate to each question.
Yes, what you said is the thing. Like there were no specific timings. Like okay, this question you have to solve in 10 minutes. Three hours, 3 questions you can solve in any manner you want. In any manner you want. And you can end it also. Like if you have solved all the problems, you can end the test and go. The one thing which how this Codility platform was different from other platform was that you are only able to submit the test only once. Like I've given a lot of tests. So in most of the platforms, what happens is like when you like submit a particular question, then you check for like you don't submit a test, you just submit the question. Okay. So when you submit the question, what happens in most of the platforms is that it showed you, okay, which all test cases the solution passed. So
Mhm.
and once you see all, okay, there are 10 test cases, you pass 5 test cases, you can change your code and again resubmit the question. So what was different in Codility was that you can only submit it once. There is no chance. Okay, so you have to be very sure very sure of your solution the first time. There were sample test cases and you can check your solution against sample test cases which were only 2 or 3. But against the main test cases, you only get one chance. If your code, okay, even and there were hidden test cases too. So you have to be very sure of the solution before you submit that particular solution. So I think that was very different. That was a bit different for me, like from other platforms. So you can't be very overconfident. Okay, this question passed my test cases and I submitted it. So you have to take care. You have to take care of edge cases too. So because there is no chance that you will get again. So I think that was different, and I think that was very challenging too, because I remember, like, I was, even if I had solved the problem, like I remember like making my own test cases, thinking, still thinking, even after solving, still thinking if there are any edge cases or that which I'm missing. So it took me time to figure that also, like to be very sure of the solution. So this was different and challenging too, a bit challenging from other platforms.
So, like the timer, was it visible on the screen, Bhaiya?
Yes, yes. Like any other platform, every other information was there. So nothing special.
Mhm.
That
It was proctored also then, right?
mm, not video proctored, but yeah, like we were said, like what, like IP and all, like
AI proctored, huh?
yeah, you can say that, like they were proctored. They can see like what we are doing, or there was some information which was going in the background. They had, like, because even if they can't proctor, like even if they can't detect any cheating now, if in the future if they detected any malpractices or something like that, like the person would directly be removed from the procedure itself. So, So yeah.
So like everybody will want to know that was the paper same for everybody?
Mhm. I didn't ask people, but I think the questions were same. I think
Questions
what
was same.
questions were same across all the students. Yeah.
So like after the first round has completed, so how many days within how many days did the company revert back for the further rounds?
I think for after the coding round, I think the next mail I think came the next day or the I think it came the next day or the day after the next day, like within 1 or 2 days. I would say like again like this is for VIT, so most of the times I think 1 or 2 days is max they will take for like short for the first round shortlisting, for the coding round shortlisting. So I think that takes around a day or maximum 2 days.
So yeah, like next round was interview round, right? How like what was asked in that and how did you prepare for that round?
Okay, so for the again, like I didn't prepare specifically for that interview round or anything. I have been solving problems, and but specifically for placement, I definitely revised my computer fundamentals like database management, uh, networking, operating system. These basics I definitely revised for interviews and all, but not specifically for this round. But I think for generally I revised it for the entire placement season. So I think that is very important. Anyone who is going to give placement, I recommend, and I think most of the people do that they should definitely revise their computer fundamentals once again. Like as I said, OS, DBMS, networking. They should definitely revise. Not in very depth, but they should know the basic concept around that, like the most important things in these subjects. So again, I revised them, and again problem solving and all. Again, I just revised. I didn't prepare specifically. I revised a few things which I thought, okay, these are the very basic things which I should revise before attending. So I revised them, and I revised computer fundamentals, and I think that is how I give my computer my interview rounds.
So like where this was the last round or were there any further rounds you were
So
saying four
yeah,
rounds?
so I think they have a day like there is a day when they take all these interviews. Like so, like for me in the morning around 9 p.m., 9 a.m. the first round happened, interview round, and after that I think they give you a mail or something. They contact you somehow for the second round. Second round and first round are mostly similar. They do the same thing. Like there are 1 or 2 coding questions, problems, and they ask you about computer fundamentals. Like for me that is what exactly happened. Both rounds are similar, just they happened once after another if they think you are capable enough to go forward. So both rounds are mostly same. Both contains 1 or 2 coding problems, and again questions related to computer fundamentals if they want to ask, like yeah.
Which among these was hardest way, like
Like
according to
hard if any round would have gone very bad, I think that round would be the hardest. But if but when I look at these rounds, I don't think there is any particular round which is hardest, because as I said, like both the interview rounds are mostly similar. Again, like if you get an easy question, hard question, that will determine whether it was hard or easy for you. But again, like there's nothing very different from both the rounds. Both are similar. And again, coding round is like similar to all the companies. It happens, this is the first round. So I won't say like any there was any hard round or something, but giving the interview round one for the first time, because I haven't given a interview round for such a big company anytime like uh, anytime before. So yeah, giving that on for the first time had some anxiety. Like I was a bit anxious and all, like okay, what is going to happen? So it took me time to calm myself. But again, when I gave interview round two, I knew, okay, this all these things are going to happen. So I was more calmer in that. So it was for my first time, I think that was a bit not difficult but more challenging for me.
yeah. Like Bea, when we speak about the interview round, so is it good to prepare for that from before only or after the results of the first round are out?
No, no, I don't think like for example, if you ask me, like between those 2 rounds or like before interviews, as I said, like I didn't specifically like, okay, prepare for this round. Okay, these are the problems I'm going to solve it. So I don't think that will help a lot. Like okay, if you have a lot of time, you can do that. But I think if you can revise a bit of computer fundamentals and okay, revise few concepts which you think are important and you should know, have more chances of coming than other problems. Okay, if you want to revise, you can revise them a few, but specifically preparing for a interview round, it won't help. Like it depends a lot on the recruiter, what question he has come for. He has come to ask you, and that can change a lot. So, and like that is something you can't control. So
Yeah.
preparing specifically for that doesn't make much sense. Again, you have to solve problems, keep solving problem, and if you have done enough, the luck will favor you. Like luck will favor you. It's if they ask you something which you have solved or a concept which you know, it's well and good. If they don't, like, okay, then it was a bad day. Then what can you do?
So, like, what are the major do's and don'ts you would advise for your juniors for interview rounds?
For interview rounds, I think as I said, like, as it was my first round, I was not very calm for the starting half an hour. I was anxious. So I would say, like, when you go to the round, when you go or attend any round, like, just be calm, be confident and believe in yourself that you have solved enough problems and you will be able to solve this problem too. Because because think is like, that is why I'm saying that when you have to participate in a lot of contests. Because if you see, for example, interview round happen for what, 1.5 hour, or coding round happen for 3 hours, and you get what, one or two problems or three problems at max. So compare it with a contest. Okay, when you're giving a contest in, for example, code forces or code ship, the contests are what, 2 hours or 2.5 hours, and again you get five problems. So if you see the setup, they're mostly similar. If you have given a lot of contest, you know how to think. You connect the dots quickly. I think that is the difference I felt. Like, as I said, when I gave the and when I gave the placement test for Microsoft in my third year. That is the difference I felt. I could not think that time because I was not doing a lot of problem solving, not giving a lot of contest. So I could not give these interview rounds or something. Contest you have given, whatever contest you have given, and whatever, like, your brain is trained to think about solutions quicker. In those 10 minutes, 15 minutes, if it's an easy problem or something, your brain will be able to come up with solutions quicker. I would like to advise also, like, okay, stay calm, believe in yourself, and also, like, talk with the recruiter. Okay, even if you don't know the exact solution, like just reading the problem, you don't know the exact solution, it's fine, but you have an idea. Okay, okay, maybe this is a way to solve. So just say to that recruiter, okay, sir, this is what I am thinking, and what do you think about it? So, and talk, and I think he will also help you. Like, no one is there, no one is just, he's not judging you, like, okay, you have to give me the correct solution now. And, like, just have a conversation with him, what do you think, just, and I think you will be fine. Most of us are fine, and sometimes you are not fine. It's fine. One or two bad days are also there. So just be calm, stay confident, and you will be fine.
Yeah. Like any other thing you want to add up for the third years, so that they could get into the companies easily, and few advices you want to give apart from all these for the sort of placement seasons.
Mm. Again, placement season, I think first, one of the most important things which I personally think, even for me to improve more, I think I have to solve more problems. There's no other way around it. No other way. Solve as many problems as you can, because so before the placement season, like, wherever you are 6 months away from placement, you're 3 months away, 2 months away, doesn't matter. Keep solving problems, and keep solving problems, because as you solve more problems, your luck will also improve, because there can be any problem which can be asked in the interview and all. So you have to keep solving problems. That is one thing that can't be changed. And again, like, during the interviews and all, stay confident, be calm, be consistent also in problem solving. I would say, like, personally, like, I feel like, I will share this because, like, there's a person, I think I mentioned the name Ericto. He is grandmaster in code forces. So in one of these, like, YouTube streams, I listened to him. Like, people were asking him, okay, like, what should people do to be good in computer programming, or, like, to be consistent. So he once said, I remember it, that to be good, like, in a week, you should be giving at least 20 hours to problem solving. 20 hours in a week, that comes out to be around 4 hours per day. So I think that is very important, like, minimum. And he said that as a minimum. So that is personally I also follow. Like, every day, I would also, like, confess that in the last month I have not been very consistent, because of Microsoft, and also I've been traveling. But even after getting placed, like, because if someone sees my profile in this website, they would know that during June or July, when I was giving the test for code forces, test for Microsoft, I was not very high rated. I was around 12 1300 in code forces. Even after getting placed in Microsoft, I've been giving this contest very, very frequently. So after that also my rating has increased. So I personally think that even for me to improve, I have to keep solving problems, and that is why I would say to everyone listening also, keep solving problems and just stay calm, confident, be consistent, and I think it will be fine. It will be fine. It's not very hard and all to crack this company.
So, Bhaiya, these were the great piece of advices from your side, and moreover, it is a well-informed podcast covering all the ins and outs of the placement and your valuable placement journey. Our complete PlaceU team thanks you for being here and sharing such essential advices. And all the best for your future. And to all the pals watching out there, follow Nitish on LinkedIn, and you can find his ID in the description below. Thank you, Bhaiya.
Thank you, and thank you for having me. Yeah.